What's good, OBT? It's your boy Obi back with another video, man. We are watching the downfall of PrettyBoyFredo. For most of y'all that have known me and watched me for a while, or on my main channel, they know PrettyBoyFredo was one of my favorite, like, 2K YouTubers, all that coming up, and now I despise him. I can't stand him. He went from, a real relatable person to this Hollywood dude that's like faking everything he does. And it's really weird because he always talks about the struggles about, being adopted and having to be, his own man and shit like that. And, you fuck with that. You fuck with the real. And then now you see him at his high point in life. And now he wants to do all this scamming, this faking, the disrespectfulness towards the mother of his child, and like all this shit like that. Like, that shit is not cool. And that's the thing. Kids nowadays believe all this shit that he does. Like, they believe everything. That's like, all this shit's not real. I was one of those kids that, that like believed in everything I saw on YouTube. Like, everything was real. It is. Most of it is not. A few bits of it is real. You can tell. But most of the shit is not real life, which is sad to see. Because, I love originality. I love when people do stuff that is, theirs. I love that kind of shit. But, the money gets to you and you got to make it how you make it. So let's just get into this video.
Now, it seems like every couple of months there is...
Oh, yeah, shout out to, I think it was Bulls or Bills. He's been making a lot of these downfall videos, so shout out to him on this video.
...that has been on the platform for a couple of years being exposed. Now, the YouTuber in question that we are going to talk about today is 27-year-old PrettyBoyFredo. Fredo has been on YouTube for almost 7 years now, with his first upload to the platform being titled NBA 2K15 Xbox 360 Review and Gameplay. That video was uploaded on October 4th, 2014, and would start his ascent to the top of the NBA 2K community. PrettyBoyFredo would take over the 2K community and would reach his first big milestone of 100,000 subscribers on January 1st, 2016.
Man, I remember this video too, man. Like, for all the early stages of PrettyBoyFredo and 2K community, I was there for that. I miss his story times, just his gameplay with the legends and the mascots on 2K. I think it was 17, or it was 16 or 17. I think it was 16 when he was just running up Rivet City. Like, it was a time, man. It was a good time. I wish 2K can go back to that time, but I'm not gonna be talking much during this video. This is really something I just wanted to watch with you guys and just give my little inputs every now and then.
About a year and 2 months after posting his first video to his channel, and in just 8 months after hitting 100,000 subscribers, he would hit another huge milestone for his channel. He would hit 1 million subscribers on August 13th, 2016. Now, it's good to point out that around this time, he would start to branch out from NBA 2K content, and would throw
which is cool.
Vlogs, storytime videos, and prank videos into his content. With this added content to Fredo's YouTube channel, it wasn't long before we saw him hit 2 million subscribers. On December of 2016, just 4 months after Fredo hit 100 million subscribers, Fredo would gain another 1 million subscribers before the end of the year.
Which is crazy.
Was a huge year for Fredo. Not only did he hit 2 million subscribers, but it seemed like every video that he would upload would get over 1 million views. Now, 2017 was a huge year for Fredo. Not only would he gain over another 1 million subscribers, but he would also upload his most viewed video. On March 12th, 2017, Fredo would post a video titled "Marriage Proposal Gone Wrong."
Yeah.
She said no. This video
remember
would
this one.
over 53 million views to this day, and would help blow up Fredo's channel. This was also the year that Fredo would really start to leave behind his 2K legacy of Clamp God. In 2017, Fredo would only post 7 2K related videos, and after 2017, Fredo would practically never upload another 2K release.
Yeah, and speaking of just the 2K in general, I feel like any content creator that does 2K, like myself, I don't want to stay on 2K forever. Every dude that is coming up on 2K, I don't know if their plan is to stay on 2K forever, but me, it's not for me. I want to do more IRL stuff in the future, but 2K is just something because I love the game. Like, shit, you see Duke Dennis right now. When he hit his 1 million, he's been on 2K, but that hasn't been his main point anymore. So I'm like, it's it's gonna move on. Like Cash, Nasty, Too Hype, all them, they don't even really play 2K no more. They just do IRL stuff. You know, that's
Videos.
really
But
what I want to move on to in the
2017 saw
future.
Fredo do a lot of great acts of kindness. One of the greatest things he would do that year was meet up and take a kid named Elias to an Orlando Magic NBA court and had him play in a 5v5. Fredo would also get Elias a bunch of gifts. See, this wasn't a regular fan. This person had 5 heart surgeries, and in Fredo's words, was a Make-A-Wish kid. And Elias really wanted to meet Fredo as well. The video would end with Fredo giving Elias a ride in his Jaguar, and then would take Elias out to eat, and finally Fredo would take Elias back to watch an NBA game. This was a priceless video and showcased Fredo's generosity, but remember, even salt can look like sugar. So remember this part of the video once we move to Fredo's downfall. Now we get to the year of 2018. See, 2018 wasn't the best year for Fredo. This was a year where Fredo would collab with more content creators. One of these creators being DDG. In August of 2018, DDG and Fredo would play 1v1. DDG would end up beating Fredo in the first game, and Fredo, not being someone that wants to lose, asked to run it back. In the second game, Fredo was calling a bunch of fouls and also committing a bunch of fouls. This second game was intense and was never finished. DDG and McQueen ended up leaving the gym that day.
I don't know who the fuck messes with McQueen. McQueen's such a fucking weirdo. Like, I don't have no beef with like or like any ill will against like anybody or any YouTubers, but just some people are just so fucking corny. Like McQueen's corny. First, like that when I first thought and heard that name McQueen, that dude is so fucking corny. Oh my god.
The beef between DDG and Fredo would be born. Here is parts of that fight.
Look at that. And this is crazy though. This is way before DDG, the rapper, blew up. How did he? And I'm trying not to talk as much, but some of this stuff is just like crazy, like going back in memories and shit. I did not know who DDG was until like, literally, I have known DDG first before YouTube was one of his songs, and that was the one that go like big rack big. Oh, that game. I forgot how that go. Oh yeah, Givenchy. There we go. Yeah, that was the first like time I even heard DDG, and then next thing I know, he's a YouTuber. I was like, oh, okay. It's crazy he's been around for that long. He clean took it from you. Cleanly took it from you.
Fredo would post a video titled "My Last Video," deleting this channel for good. Now I'm not sure.
Can't stand these kind of videos.
DDG and his video that he made in his car after the basketball game, or if it was directed at someone else. But this would start to show Fredo's breaking point. Now throughout the year, Fredo was pushing the boundaries of his content. No longer was he making fake prank videos. Now he was making fake catching a child predator videos.
Yeah, and I never watched, like, during that time, I was gone. I didn't watch the channel no more.
Privated so people cannot watch them. But there were some content creators that had issues with Fredo posting that type of content for views. Agent would be one of the content creators that would call Fredo out on a video titled, "Fredo, your fake pranks are making the world a worse place." Here is what Agent had to say.
Why?
Look at how big, bro. Look at Agent when he was big. That's crazy, man.
This up like the evil villain. He is literally exploiting pedophilia. How is anybody else not disgusted by this? The only people I talk to that can see through this is other YouTubers. And so to get to the point in your life where you're like, all right, man, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna catch pedophiles. Then it gets even weirder because he puts things like XXX in the tags of his videos. Who searches that up? Little kids that don't know other websites exist that can help you at a much... Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Bro, look how big Agent was, man. That's funny, man. And he was, oh man, I loved Agent.
Fredo would hit 5 million subscribers by the end of 2018, and 2019 started out strong for Fredo, but ended off really weird. At the end of the year, Fredo started making videos with his ex-girlfriend, and one video they kissed, which again was weird. Of course, during this time, Fredo and Jasmine were separated, so Fredo was free to do whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
And eventually, there would be a huge video between the two where Jasmine and Fredo would talk through their issues. That video would be 48 minutes long, and at the very end of the month, Fredo would make a video titled "Dear Jasmine, Pontiac made DDG, and 2K Community." In this video, he would talk about his reasoning for leaving the 2K community. He would say that the reason that he left was because he started to become extremely angry and was becoming someone that he wasn't, and that he started to hate 2K. Here's parts of that video.
I'm gonna first say why I left the 2K community. I left because I felt like I started to become something that I really did not like. I started to become extremely angry. I ultimately started to become a monster. All from a video game that I grew up loving so much, I also started to hate. Being such a big influencer and impact on that community, it brought a lot of love, but also it brought a lot of hate. A lot of niggas hated me simply because I was successful. Simply because they seen me do stuff that they never saw anybody else in that community do. And I didn't understand it. Like, it was just so much hate. I feel like a big part of being a content creator, mental health is number one. When I used to play 2K, and I used to be a part of that community so much, I used to get so much hate that it would affect my mood. It would affect who I was. It would affect how I was with the people around me. It would just affect my life. Just so much ruthless, negative, toxic thing that just really just disgusting.
That video would get a lot of love and would help push Fredo to 6 million subscribers. Now we get to 2020, one of the worst years for a lot of people, with the pandemic and having to be away from loved ones. But Fredo wouldn't do that. Fredo held a meetup in New York where a huge group of people would...
Oh yeah, I remember that too. That was so fucking stupid, man. That was really like one of the dumbest things you can do. In the middle of like a pandemic while it's still going, you have a big ass meetup with over like thousands of fucking people, exposing them all to fucking COVID. You don't know what these people could be sick or anything like that, or they can just have illnesses that would, like, if they got COVID, that would fuck them up. That was so stupid. Like, it's just things that he's been doing recently as a content creator. It's like, you just don't think about like the consequences of it. That's the thing. You just like, that's what a lot of content creators do. You don't think about the fucking consequences of what you're doing. You're just like, yo, I got this big idea. It's going to get tons of views, blah, blah, blah. And then you do it. Then you're just like, oh shit, I didn't think about that. Like, that's the thing. You got to think about shit like that, especially like in the middle of a fucking pandemic.
Talked about Fredo being irresponsible with his fans, and also talked about how Fredo tested positive for the virus just 2 weeks beforehand. Agent would chime in, and here's what Agent would say.
Is gonna be like, oh, well, why would Agent say something like that? In Fredo's video, he muted his entire comment section and pinned only one post, which is his. And he says this: wishing death upon an innocent child is disgusting. You deserve to be canceled. You might be wondering, when did I do that? Well, that's what I was wondering when I watched the video. Well, let's listen to Fredo say it in his words.
I'm gonna tell you guys the worst part about it all. This kid had his fans spamming me on Twitter death threats to my daughter, to my innocent being. How disgusting and a pig you are. You do not deserve a channel. You are canceled.
And now, what kind of human being would do such a thing? And he made this a big focus throughout the entirety of his video, that I said that about his daughter. When in reality, not only have I not said that, but I have said nothing to inspire any of the people that watch me to say that.
Literally.
The Twitter account in question that
I remember this whole thing too.
is deleted. I was curious who this guy was that I was getting blamed for. No affiliation here. So I went through the archives. And the only interaction between me and him in the month his Twitter account was even active was being called Cap on July 19th about a tweet I made. I don't even know what tweet that is. But there is 5 instances here. Boom, 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 boom. Of him joining your giveaways, Fredo. So who knows what this guy's motivation was for saying those disgusting things, but to argue that it was me, even though there was no evidence I ever inspired anyone to go to your channel and say anything, is crazy.
And like the thing about Fredo too, he is such a fucking reacher for anything. Like the reaching for the attention and for the bullshit is just so fucking bad, bro. Like, if you're actually like an adult at my age, you see through all this dumb shit. But like when it's kids, you're easily convinced, you're easily manipulated. That shit is fucking dumb, bro. Like, if you think with logic and all this shit, you would see that all this shit is fucking dumb, and he plants all this little bugs in kids' minds, and it's really just bad. You're manipulating kids to believe this bullshit just to shit on somebody else to get your way when they're doing something that's proving you wrong. Like, that shit is crazy.
Video after Fredo's reaction, I feel like it was easier to get the full scoop of Agent's video if I just put in the last one. Now, a year later, Fredo would post a video titled SSH member gets exposed for scamming and knocked down.
I seen this shit too.
CEO Mikey. In this video, he would expose CEO Mikey.
Yeah, and the only reason I seen that video was just because of CEO Mikey. I was like, who the fuck is this dude? Because I heard about him beefing with Fredo over some bullshit. And then that was when, like, I think CEO Mikey was hanging out with Annoying. And then they were talking about the bullshit. So I was like, who the fuck is CEO Mikey? So I just went back and did some shit. And then saw this video. I was like, there's just so much fucking, like, scamming and shit in his circle. Like, it's really weird.
For scamming Fredo's fans. The video would display Mikey boxing two guys and then would be kicked out of SSH. That same day, May 4th, Mikey would post his own video titled Surviving Pretty Boy Fredo Part
Yeah,
1.
I seen this shit.
Mikey would state that Fredo was scamming and lying to his fans and how Fredo was faking his content. He also said that he wasn't comfortable with some of the things Fredo was making him do, but because of his loyalty towards Fredo, he would do them anyways. Here's parts of that video.
You've made me do things that I wasn't comfortable doing. You've lied on my name countless times. You've made so much money off of me that I haven't seen a dime of. He came to my house, he broke my TV, he made a mess, and my mom could vouch for this. I would dead ass get my mom on camera. My mom could vouch for this. He dead ass, he just made a mess and he did. I had to clean everything up. Only thing he reimbursed me for was for the TV, respectfully. Now,
Respectfully.
One, Fredo keeps talking about this scamming, that, scamming that. Fredo, you are the biggest scammer on the planet, Fredo. I swear to God. You guys know about that Made in Hype shit? Made in Hype, this and that, where he was selling SSH hoodie and like NBA logo shirts and that. The nigga behind that website was Alfredo Villa. And you guys notice how y'all never got your SSH hoodies, y'all never got none of y'all merch. The nigga ran away with $30,000.
30 bands.
All that money went to Fredo. So Fredo took y'all hard-earned money. He took y'all hard-earned money, and he pocketed it, and he left that nigga with shit. To this day, I'm still getting DMs. Where's my SSH hoodie? Where's my SSH hoodie? I need my SSH hoodie. So all that shit was cat. So Fredo, and I remember Fredo telling me he made about $30,000 to $40,000 off that shit. So he scammed you guys out of $40,000.
This made Fredo
Crazy,
look really
bro.
bad and took some of the hate off of Mikey's back. A week later, Mikey would post Surviving Pretty Boy Fredo Part 2. In this video, he would FaceTime some of the people that used to be associated with Fredo. One person in particular was Elias. Here's what he had to say to Mikey.
Like, I literally, like, don't know nobody in fucking SSH and like Fredo Circle. They're all fucking weirdos, every single one of them. It's cool that Mikey, you know, got himself out that situation and, you know, is telling the truth about what the fuck was going on. But at the same time, me, like, after just the whole thing with Fredo, I don't fuck with nobody that associates with him in general.
Fredo ended up contacting me again after he got exposed and gave me his number, and then I know he changed his number and followed me all over again. Okay. In fact, he tried to get in contact with me basically like to stop all the hate coming at him. Like, let's say, yeah, we cool again. He texted me, he was like, you my brother for life and all this, and then unfollows me again, changes his number, like, and then he tells me like, oh, next time you don't have to go to other YouTubers to like expose me, you could just text me direct. But how am I supposed to text somebody direct if they unfollow me, if they change their number on me, you know? They just basically block me out like if I was nothing. Okay, so do you think that
Literal shit.
What's his, I don't know, Cycle, do you think that if he never made that YouTube video, that he would ever have got in contact with you again and gave you a new you don't think so? Fredo would have never got back in contact with me. The only reason why Fredo really got back in contact with me because of all the hate he was receiving from that video. That video ended up getting like 100,000 views, I think. And Fredo was getting hella hate off of it. So he got back in contact with me.
So remember what I said, that salt can look like sugar. That's what I meant. The video was really nice with Fredo bringing Elias out and getting him shoes and getting Elias in the video, but there was also some underlying agendas for Fredo as well, and that was to get views off of Elias and his story. Fredo has yet to respond in a video to the second video that CEO Mikey would upload. Now, it's hard to say if Fredo will actually fall off, This past month, it's been rare to see any of his videos get over 1 million views. And in the month of May, Fredo would lose 20,000 subscribers, and in total would lose 30,000 subscribers in the span of 2 months. A first negative loss in subscribers in over a year. Fredo would try and silence Mikey, to try and take him to court, trying to scare him, and would try and make Mikey stop posting about it. Fredo was once a huge YouTuber and was on track to hit 10 million subscribers really soon, but with so many exposed videos coming out and so many people coming out against Fredo, his subscriber count has stagnated at 7.3 million subscribers. I do hope that Fredo does change for the better and his platform will grow from that, but until Fredo figures out exactly what he has to change and comes clean about scamming his fans, that will never change. But anyways, thank you for watching, and if you did enjoy the video, leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the video out and the channel out. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so anything helps. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah, it was crazy, bro, because like a lot of these like big YouTubers and shit like that, they're all just fucking scammers and con artists most of the time. There's only a few that actually do real shit, and I respect the fuck out of all those that do the real shit. But it's all these people out here scamming you guys for your views, for your money, for all that, and making you believe in this false like idea. Like, and it's really crazy. Like, I just thought YouTube was just a free way for people to, you know, expand their mind and entertain. That's different if it's entertainment, but the fact that you're trying to play on personas that it's all real, I don't fuck with that. If you do something fake, just be like, yeah, it was, you know, scripted or whatever like that. Okay, that's fine. Nobody cares about that, but you try to continue to say how real it is, how that's where you lose me. That's why I shoot. If you associate with Fredo and you do your thing, but I don't ever want to hear nothing about SSH brought up to me. No, nothing. I don't care. And at the end, who am I to say something? You know, why does my opinion matter? It doesn't. I'm just giving my vocal, you know, my vocal. Shit, I can't even think of a word. But that's gonna do it for this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.